I stand before you today as a child of Lagos. I'm a son of the soil. A voice that once trembled in fear growing up in this city now resounds with love, deviance, and immeasurable pride. So let me begin by saying, welcome home. A home that never dries of its past yearning. No matter where you've been, what you've endured, or how you arrived here, pride in Lagos, in this place, on this day, for all of us, is a collective homecoming. What a historic day this is. And it is indeed is historic. As a little boy, growing up in Mushi, being camp and all, I never thought for once that a day like today will come, that I will have an opportunity to not just say we're gathering, but to actually say we are celebrating Pride. Because Pride is a form of a protest and a push against cis heteronormativity. And let this word settle in your bones. If someone had told me 20 years ago that we would gather here in our shining queer power, if someone had told me under the sun of Lagos, raising our voices not in whispers but in celebration, I might have dared to dream it, but I would not have believed it. However, one thing is certain: change is constant, it's not permanent. We've been here before, and we're here because love refused to be silenced. We're here because the truth refused to stay in hiding. We're here because people like you and I have refused to disappear. We have refused to do the biddings of homophobes, and instead we fight them with our nails. And it's not just those of us that live here in Lagos. To our siblings in diaspora, home has lingered in exile. Because even thousands of kilometers away, Nigeria never left us. It lived in our tongues, in our rhythm, in our spirit. Our fight was always for the day when none of us will have to leave this land again, when we can finally call it home. We've gathered here in protest to be free, not just existing, but insisting, not hiding, but heralding. In the words of Maya Angelou, if you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how fabulous you are. That's why I start being normal. And talking about freedom, I know what it means to be free, and I know what it means to not be free. I know what it means to play pretend. Funny as it may sound, I know what it means to act heterosexual. As a little boy on the dangerous streets of Mushi in the 80s, discovering my queerness through kids playing mommy and daddy, I know what it means to look fear in the face and tremble. As a young teenage boy attending Eco Boys High School, an all-boys school in Mushi, I know what it means to be ordered, to be beaten, and to be bullied. As an undergraduate theatre arts student at the University of Lagos, I know what it means to be outed, shamed, attacked, and still find no justice. As a young man who grew up in a religious home, I know what it means to beg God. I remember many prayerful nights. I would go to bed with tears and pains in my heart, praying and hoping and begging God to please heal me from this shame, this sin, this disease of homosexuality. Such was the pain at the age of 17. I was a young, promising, attractive, an active teenager who went through exorcism. And when it failed, I became more devastated. I sought to kill myself. But today, like Phoenix, I rise. Above the shame, I rise. Above the guilt, the pains, the tears, the persecution, and the trauma, I rise. Yes, I may not fully understand what it means to be whole. And to be honest, I don't know what it means. But I know what it means to be me. I know what it feels like to look in the mirror without shame and love the man that I see. The one that wakes in the arms of his husband, a dream that he also never thought was possible. When I first came out on national television in 2004, I knew what I was getting into. I was stepping into fire. I knew that by speaking my truth, I might lose everything. And indeed, I lost my home, my job, my family, my friends, and I lost my country. But in the journey of owning my sexuality, what I gained was greater. I gained the clarity of freedom. I gained the gift of self. I gained the unshakable knowledge that silence is not safety, but rather suffocation. I gave my full self to become what I am today, the angelic troublemaker, who was inspired and empowered by the words of his mentor, Bian Rustin, who says, we need in every community a group of angelic troublemakers. This has been the calling, and I have been fulfilling it even before I met my destiny. So I gained the right to be alive. I gained the right to be fabulous. I gained the right to be fierce, to be unshaken, and I gained the right to give this speech today. Our story has always been one of resistance, from the whispers in the university dorms to the coded love letters exchanged between two women in Sokoto, from the flamboyant brilliance of queer fashion in the markets of Balogun to the underground balls in Surulere, from the sashaying of the effeminate gay man to the masculinity of the butch lesbian. Together we express gender in our uniqueness and smash binary definition of gender expression. We've always been here. Queer, Africa, unapologetic. Do not let them rewrite our history. Homosexuality is not un-African. What is un-African is colonialism, imported laws and moral codes written in the margins of Bible and Quran and used to justify chains, shame, oppression, and hatred. Today, the people that brought us the law, the religion, the shame, the oppression are now telling us how hatred is not cool. That shame is not needed. That oppression is evil. But at the same time, failing to say, we are sorry. And equally deny us the resources we need to liberate ourselves. But we are our ancestors. And their spirits will never leave us. Our ancestors dance in gender fluidity. Our spirits have always held multitudes. The Yoruba language itself doesn't have gender pronouns. The Igbo culture has the custom of women marrying women. And the Hausa's culture acknowledges homosexuality in Yandaudu. The existence of homosexuality both in our language, our tradition, and gender expression proves we have always been here. So my siblings, we are not borrowing pride from the West. We are the pride that they celebrate. We are only celebrating what was and always has been ours. The joy, the identity, and the self-possession. When an individual is protesting society's refusal to acknowledge its dignity as a human being, Bian Rustin said, his very act of protest confers dignity on him. So what is pride anyway? Pride is not a party. It is a protest in motion, a declaration that our lives matter, our body are sacred, and our future are not negotiable. In Lagos, where queerness is criminalized, visibility becomes a radical act of self-love, and pride an act of resistance from compulsory cis heteronormativity. It is a middle finger to SSMPA, to conversion therapy, and to the future of conformity. It is a celebration of trans women navigating public transportation with elegance, regardless of their femininity. The audacity of trans men to express masculinity without its toxicity. It is the softness of two men holding hands in traffic. It is the lesbian asserting femininity with power and gusto, and the non-binaries crushing the mantle of stereotype. It is every queer person who refused to make themselves smaller to survive. And to those who say, this is not our time, I have this to say, and I've been saying this always. Now is our time. Justice delayed is still justice denied. To those who say Nigeria is not ready, I say Nigeria is made up of Nigerians. And I've never met a queer Nigeria who is not ready. I've never met a queer Nigeria who is not ready to live. I've never met a queer Nigeria who is not ready to love. I've never met a queer Nigeria who is not ready to survive. We've always been prepared for our queer joy. We are ready. We've always been ready, and will always be ready. We're simply no longer asking for permission. We're now taking spaces in art, in fashion, in entertainment, in finance, in technology, in law, in politics, in healthcare, and many other places. But before I continue, I think it's important that we remember those who never get the chance to celebrate this pride with us, but who fought so hard that we could. Those who were beaten, blackmailed, and jailed. Those who died by suicide, by vigilantes, by shame. Those whose name we may never know, but whose spirit danced in step, in rhythm, and in tunes with our deviants. Our queer siblings. To Fola Francis. To Chantal, Abuja area mama. To Akinifesi, Olumide, Olubumi. To Ibrahim, my childhood best friend. Dele, Emmanuel, Chimeze, Noel, Shegun, Emeka, Livinus, Innocent, Toyin, Flexi, Austin, Cardoso, Dare, the founder and the executive director of Alliance Ride, and to so many of our friends in our heart that we may not remember. To those whose parents and friends still hope they found them, not knowing they were murdered at the hands of Anambra's deadly Quito. Italy, Ekwensu, those killed during the SARS violence. To those who were lured and to those who died due to religious misinformation about HIV. Let us hold a moment of silence, not for their death, but for their stolen future. And let us make a vow that no more lives will be lost to silence, not on our watch. Because George Eliot says, our dead are never dead to us, until we have forgotten them. Let me be clear, there is nothing sinful about you. Your queerness is not a defect. Your love is not a pathology. You are not broken. You are not a mistake. You are indeed God. You are divine. And yes, I said it. Divine. Because to love despite hate, to shine despite stigma, and to live out loud in the face of danger is revolutionary. Remember the Egbeda 57. the queer underground raids in northern Nigeria and Delta State. I say it often and I'll say it again. If being queer in Nigeria doesn't make you a spiritual being, I don't know what will. You wake up each day and you choose truth over fear. You walk into churches that preach your domination and still hold your head high. You sit in taxis and hear slows and still find room to forget. Tell me, if that isn't holy, if that isn't resilience, if that isn't God, then what is? We're not just queer, we are Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Ibibio, Ishakiri, Ijesha, Ilesha, wherever we come from. We're Muslims, we're Christians, we're traditionalists, irreligious, we're atheists, we're disabled, we're sex workers, we're refugees. We're all these things and none of them diminishes our queerness. They deepen it. Because to fight for queer liberation in Lagos means fighting for economic justice, healthcare access, housing, the right of women, and finally freedom of expression. The intersectionality of our struggle is why the fight for LGBT freedom includes the fight for Palestinian liberation. So we say free Palestinian, free Congo, free Sudan. Let them live, let them breathe. Our struggle is connected, our power is collective. Marsha P. Johnson said, you never completely have your right, one person, until you all have your right. And to the young person who are watching or listening to me at this moment, if you wonder if it gets better, hear me. It does. Look at me. I was once young. I was once scared. I was once lonely. I was once confused. I was once in the closet. But I chose to block out all the noises and leave. Today, they bully you at the playground. They call you names as you walk down the street. They throw stones at you. But I beg you, keep your head up. Put your shoulder back. Look straight ahead. Because they are nothing but distractions. The Egyptians you see today, a day will come, they will bow at your feet and you will see them no more. And they will also acknowledge your greatness. Yes, the storm is hard today. The road is rough and tough. The journey seems unthinkable, but you've got this. You'll find your people, you'll find your power. You will discover that you're not just worthy of love, that you are love. You are the revolution we dream of. Even if the world tries to break you, know this, we will be here for you and with you, holding spaces, making noise, building homes, because you are the reason that we fight. 20 years ago, I founded what has become the largest queer organization in Nigeria, known as the Initiative for Equal Rights. I started this in the spirit of fraternity and queerness. We were 5 young people looking to do something beyond talking. Damola, Olumide, Sewedo, Rashid, and I. Since then, so much has changed. There is now a troubling level of division within our community. I want to say something. Enough is enough. Enough of this bickering and bitterness. Stop the fight. Because we are not the problem. We're not the enemy. Homophobia is. And those who perpetuate it, stop blocking opportunities simply because you don't like someone. Our end goal is to be free. The fight for queer rights is bigger than any one of us. Yet, many will fight each other than do the real work. There is no pride in infighting. Queer liberation is not about personal feelings. Let's set aside our differences and unite in our fight for something greater. We have now allowed money and power to turn us against each other. And we fight as if the next LGBT organization is our biggest enemy. We shall change the most vulnerable amongst us, and sometimes I wonder, do we even really know why we do the work that we do? A house that stands against itself will not stand. I'm using this opportunity to reach out, to beg, to appeal to you all. Let down the weapons we've fashioned against each other. Let's hold hands in harmony and love. Let's redefine the battlefield as one. Let's go forth and take the victories that are ours. And what do we want? We demand an immediate repeal of the Same-Sex Marriage Prohibition Act. We demand an end to police brutality against LGBT persons. We demand inclusive sex education that affirms our queer identities. We demand media representation that reflects our lives in all its fullness. We demand the right to love, to exist freely, joyfully, without apology. And we will not stop until this demand are met. Because our liberation is not a favor that you give us. It is our right to own. And if you're sitting in the audience and you're thinking this is not possible, 20 years ago, today was not possible. Think about that. Now, let me address my brothers, sisters, and non-binary siblings in diaspora. We need to take action. The world is becoming an even more dangerous place for us. Now that USAID, FCDO, and other funders are slowly dwindling, we need Queer Diaspora Fund as a financial tool to support the movement at home. We can't continue to rely solely on Western grants. We must begin to fund ourselves. This idea is not new. I know the impact of the Diaspora Fund in fighting apartheid in South Africa. But let me give you an idea. In 2024 alone, Nigeria as a country received approximately $20.9 billion in diaspora remittances. That is the money that we send home to our friends, our families, and businesses. $20.9 billion. If the argument holds that 5% of every population is an LGBTQI+, that means in 2024 alone, LGBT Nigeria in diaspora sent home well over $1.45 billion. To put this into perspective, US aid to Nigeria in 2024 was $780 million. To the whole of Nigeria. The Queer Nigeria in diaspora sent money home than aid money. This is the power we have to transform the landscape of queer rights, of citizen participation, of politics, our queer economy, and this my plea is to think about the pink naira. Depending entirely on grant is not sustainable. A donation of just $10, £10, or €10 a month can go a long way in supporting unlimited PrEP access, antiretroviral medication, LGBT shelters, and protection against queer-targeted violence. No matter how small you think your donation is, it will make an impact. I implore you, my friends in diaspora, and it doesn't matter whether you are out or you are in the closet, now is the time to support the journey of advocacy in Nigeria to freedom from pretense. Let's build the world we hope to live in, and I'm sure that together we can. I want to say by expressing a profound gratitude to the organizer of Pride in Lagos, especially to Kayode and every person involved in organizing this event. Thank you. Thank you for being a revolution, a visionary, and a daredevil, because it takes one to see through this weakness, to make possible the impossible, and to see opportunities in the gloomiest of moments. The space you're creating to bring us together, to celebrate and to be celebrated, is beyond boldness and courage. This is supernatural. May the gods of our ancestors guide you. May they protect you. May they increase you. May they open doors for you and continue to make you the shining light that you all are. Now, a final blessing. Let me leave you with this. May your queerness always be a source of strength, not shame. May your love always be loud enough to drown out hate. May your life be full of pride. It becomes contagious. May you find peace in the storm. May those who hate you for who you are bow at your feet. May you eat the fruit of your labor. May your light shine so brightly it overshadows hate. And may your pain turn into peace. And may Lagos, this beating heart of Nigeria, always remember that our rainbow children were never a mistake, were a miracle. Let's blossom in our quiet joy. We're not going back into the closet. And those that are still in it, we'll wait for you to come out with love and peace. We're not lowering our voices. That's not going to happen anyway. We're not waiting for permission. We're taking spaces. We're here, we're home, and we're whole. And this is Lagos Pride. Have a celebration. Thank you so much.
Wow. Please, let's keep our hands rolling. Keep jamming your hands, keep jamming your hands. That was amazing. That was very, very inspiring.